We're going to be performing internal rotation 90-90 pails and rails. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the 90-90 position. So we want to make sure that we get into the 90-90 position, specifically so 90-degree angle of this hip, 90-degree angle of this hip. Sometimes when you get into position, especially working on a back leg, because that's the internal rotation of the leg that we're concentrating on, we want to make sure that we position our pelvis where we feel the most stretch. So in this specific position, a lot of times people just kind of reach and hold on or hold on to these two legs. I personally like using something to hold on to and help me rotate, because internal rotation for a lot of people is quite weak and it's very difficult for them without cheating. So having some help, external help, is beneficial, right? So I'll use one kettlebell behind me to help me rotate a little bit more efficiently. Okay, so once we got into this position, the first thing is to stay for 2 minutes and just breathe, right? If during those 2 minutes you're starting to feel that this is not the only area where you're feeling tension, but you may be feeling something under the knee, then you can put a pad under the knee, right? Or maybe flexing your foot allows for a less shearing force on the knee, then you do so. So you can play around with the position a little bit, okay? But once you establish, and let's say you're in this position and nothing hurts, you're just rotating as far as you can. So what I like to do is I'll have the kettlebell here. Sometimes I actually will have a kettlebell here to pull myself forward. If I don't use the second kettlebell, I'll just grab the leg to pull myself forward to stay more upright, and I'll rotate. So after 2 minutes of me being in this position and concentrating on a parasympathetic breathing, where I'm inhaling for 4 seconds and exhaling for 8 seconds to make sure that I genuinely slow down my breathing patterns and relax the muscle tissue and get deeper into that capsule, I'm gonna go into the pails and rails. So the pails contraction is gonna look like this. You're gonna take this leg and actively drive the knee and the heel into the ground, and we're gonna go for the maximum voluntary safest contraction. So we're gonna irradiate the tension, trap the air into the stomach, tense up the whole body and go 20, 40, 60, 80 until we get to 100%. We're gonna drive as hard as I can, the knee and the ankle down, while staying upright and rotating back as much as we can for 8 to 10 seconds. When we finish that 8 to 10 seconds, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a rails contraction. And in the rails contraction, think of lifting the heel up, contracting all this tissue, bringing yourself closer towards that shin. You might not be able to lift the leg. In majority of cases, people can't, but you're just gonna attempt and go for it and work for it. That's why I like to hold on to something that will allow me to create more tension through my body. I'm trying to lift, contracting here, and then for 8 to 10 seconds, and then I fully relax. When we relax, we don't fall back. I know a lot of people when they're like, oh, I can't hold it anymore, so I'll just fall back. No, we kind of have to stay in this sucky position where you don't like it, and just breathe, and you're trying to kind of drive that hip down towards the floor, just breathing and kind of embracing the suck. And so what we're gonna do is, after we did it one round, we're gonna stay there for 20 to 30 seconds, just breathe, make sure that you're not feeling discomfort in your knee, right? Mostly concentrating on the hip. And then we're gonna repeat this for 2 more times. So again, you're gonna drive the knee and the foot down as much as it can for 8 to 10 seconds, hold it, create the contraction as much as you can. Then you're gonna try to lift in the rails contraction, doing something like this while pulling yourself over. And then once you finish that, you're gonna just wait for 20 to 30 seconds, repeat it for 2 reps. So notice, I just did it 2 reps and I already feel very tender in my hips. So usually getting out of it, especially if you're not super flexible or working through some capsule issues, gonna look something like this. It's not gonna be comfortable at all. You'll feel super weak in the hip for a little bit. And usually when I feel super weak, I'll just get into the position and I'll kind of do axial rotation to make sure that I kind of experiment how much rage did I get at the hip, practicing. You can do it seated. It's better if you use a bench to sit on, upright position, 90-degree angles. But it's okay if it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because you went all the way deep into the capsule, you open up the capsule and you work on all the musculature of those small, tiny muscles that are not really working efficiently, and now you're getting them to work. That's why it doesn't feel so good, right? So after you stand up, if you feel like you're limping a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. It's gonna go away within the first 10 to 20 seconds, but you will have greater range available to you, and that's what really matters. So I hope it helped. Enjoy your day.